Hi, my name's Ginny Lindsay. I'm the principal therapist at From 2 to 3 Relationship Counselling based in Crows Nest, New South Wales. And I work with couples and individuals from pregnancy right through to the early years of having a young family. And the other day, my partner and I, we were sitting, it was on one of those really, really wet days, and we were looking out the window. And we were watching the rain pouring down into the garden and on the patio out the back. And what came up for us was how important rain is for the regeneration, and that it is winter time for hibernation, reflection and renewal. And this then went on for us to discuss about the seasons that actually occur, being summer, spring, winter and autumn, and how they can actually correlate into relationships, and how relationships in themselves go through all of these different seasons themselves. And so how we then adjust to each one of those seasons, and how we negotiate through each one of these seasons, then determines also the future of that relationship, whether it's going to flourish in spring and in summer, or if it's going to wilt in autumn and die in winter. And so what we did was we put together this fabulous article called that he wrote, called The 4 Seasons of True Loving. And I wanted to really share it with you because I really thought it was a really beautiful way to look at relationships. So we're in winter now, and so let's start with that, where we are right now. And so winter is a time where we nestle into our protective space. We review, we repair, and we rest. It's the time for hibernation. It's the time for fires. It's the time for stews and casseroles and early nights and hunkering in under the doona or the blanket. And it's really therefore a time for a deeper connection and, as I say, renewal. It's also a time for the individual and the couple to self-reflect, to review, to discuss and repair and plan for their future, of what it might look like, hold, and for the future. And so that's the first season, and that's what we're all sort of living at the moment, is this winter. And now we've got a beautiful day today, so everyone's still rugged up, but there is that element of coldness, so we're all sort of still hunkering in and coming into a warm space. So then our next season that we will be entering into is spring, and that's after we've endured our lovely long winter, and we're coming out of our cocoon and being nestled in, and we're feeling refreshed and we're feeling renewed. Our muscles, we've been indoors, so our muscles haven't worked quite so hard, and so they're feeling a little weaker, and our skin is definitely paler from not being outdoors in the bright sun. So it's lacking a little bit of colour, you might actually say. So it's a little bit more sensitive to the light and the sun of this next season, being spring. So when it comes then to, in terms of relationships, we're exploring new possibilities. We're exploring new plans. We're stretching ourselves and our goals, and we're keeping an open mind about what the prospect of what could be ahead of us inside. The prospect of finding that special person. And also it's sort of like, it's a time of excitement and possibility. And if we've found that special person, it's a bit like the first time when you first met and you've got those butterflies in the stomach, and it's that feeling of falling in love and the prospect of incredible intimacy that you can have with that person. So spring is sort of a bit like the courting phase, you might say, and it's full of excitement, butterflies and new beginnings. But for established couples, it's an important season also to inject a lot more new excitement, plans, ideas, hope, and foster that new energy to revitalize the relationship and just take it up another notch or two. So it's really injecting in. So you think of spring, all the flowers are coming out, everything's starting to have that new life. And when we think of a relationship, we really want to be thinking the same way of actually injecting new life and new ideas and possibilities. So then at the end of this, we're now starting to walk into summer. Now summer is the hot season. It's the fires are burning brightly as far as in the sun, and the days are long and the nights are sultry and steamy, and everyone just loves being outdoors. And it sort of really invigorates us to really be outside, and it's a place where everyone is out much more, so it is much more the time of connection. And so it's time of where things are now starting to fall into place. And it is the honeymoon phase, where everyone is probably really starting to feel really good. People are wearing the summer dresses, and there's much more a relaxed feeling in the air, and everything is, if we were to say, it's fun, it's rosy, and it's very outdoors and a time of connection. So it's where we then want to bring it back to the relationships. It's like, well, how does that work then for relationships? So for established couples, it seems to be when they're at their best. They've come through winter where they've thought a lot of things. They've thought about in spring what the new possibilities are going to be. And now when it comes to summer, it's the time of stepping into that and really living that. So every time you think of your partner, there's a lot more outdoors of doing things together, sharing those excitements. So often there's much more an excitement to see each other, a warm feeling in the heart. And it's really all about living life to the best together, really connecting in together. And then after summer, which has been often long and hot, and people are starting to get a little bit hot and bothered, we are still loving the long days and the long nights and the sultry evenings, and connecting in with each other and with our loved ones. Comes autumn. And when we come to autumn, we think about the leaves are changing colour. Often you see them then falling off the trees. They're on the ground, and there's that crunchiness on the ground. And there's often also the sense that, you know, the trees often look like sticks. And so there's that wilting sort of look to them as well. And so when we look at our relationships, it could be the time where the relationship is struggling. And it's also the sense that it's fading or it's dying. And this is the natural stage, like if you look at life in a cycle, that people need to themselves go through cycle stages as well. We've expended a lot of energy through spring and summer. We've expended a lot of passion, and it's and a lot of the excitement has also run its course. And we're starting to sort of go, I don't necessarily have a lot more energy to give, because cyclically our body is starting to also wind down. And so it's not like that energy we have when we're going into spring. We're sort of now the energy is coming out the other side. So what I'm also wanting to say is don't panic. Don't feel that this is a dangerous time. It's just a time we need to be aware of, that the energy for a lot of people is a lot lower. So it doesn't necessarily mean the end, but it does mean we need to reflect. It means we need to wind down, restock, repair, refill, and replace. All the R's. And so we want to celebrate what we've done together over those last couple of seasons. And we together want to explore what we have learned, what we've gained, experienced, and what we've grown. And so we really want to enjoy this part of the season and make the most of the days and the nights and come together to prepare for winter, where we're going to be hunkering down and we're going to be nesting for the winter ahead. So if you have enjoyed the first season, you will have gone through, or the first year of your relationship, you will have gone through a full year of all of those seasons, and we're now in winter again, and we're entering into our next season. So consider what it is that you are hoping for, what it is that you're willing to or wanting to avoid, and what it is that you're wanting for yourself, and what it is that you're wanting for your partner and for your relationship. And then if we do that by communicating effectively with each other, we can actually look forward to another year, another 2 years, another 3, 5, 10, 30 years together. And through these seasons, we actually are able to develop a deep, meaningful love relationship and a promise of love that is going to last through all of these seasons, last the blustering cold winds of winter, the sleet, the snow, if possible for some lucky people, the rain, and then the blooms of spring, the heat and long days and swimming of summer, and then the falling of the trees and the wilting of the leaves in autumn. And even through getting through all of these, that what we want to look at is our relationships are like a season, and each one of these will carry us through. We just need to be mindful about how we negotiate each one of those seasons in the relationship. So I hope you've enjoyed this lovely story on how relationships relate to the seasons, and how you might be able to reflect and see, well, where are we at the moment in winter? How are we travelling in winter? And what are we planning and preparing for coming towards our next season of spring? So if your relationship is in that spot at the moment and you're thinking, we're struggling to see how we're going to come out of this, we do want to keep it together. But at the same time, I also offer my services if you'd like to give me a call on 0412 88 2345, or email me on ginny@from2to3.com.au. And if you just want to ring up and have a chat and be able to just put out there at the moment where you are in your season and where you're potentially struggling at, and therefore how can we renew your relationship, I look forward to supporting you on your journey. So let's talk before it breaks. Have a great day.